Hi everyone, it's Allison from the Protocase team. Today I'm going to give you a quick review of adding notes in Protocase Designer. Notes are a way to communicate your design intentions to our engineering and design services team. The engineering and design services team is the group at Protocase that processes your design so that it can actually be manufactured. Protocase Designer is the fastest way to get your design ordered and put into our manufacturing queue. However, if there are any ambiguities or items that are unclear in your design, your Protocase account manager is going to be reaching out to you with questions from our engineering team. So I highly recommend using notes to effectively communicate what you need. So in this tutorial, I'm going to explain how to add notes. It's very straightforward. But more importantly, I'm also going to give you a few examples of how our customers use the notes function and give one important caution on how not to use notes. So let's get started. There are two different places where you can add notes in Protocase Designer: the 3D View toolbar and the Face Editor. You can add notes to a particular object, so a cutout, a graphic, fastener, component, and more in the Face Editor. And you can also add a general note to your design, both in the Face Editor or the 3D View toolbar. Let's review notes in the Face Editor first. I'm going to open a rack mount enclosure I've been working on and select the front panel to edit. I've already got my panel customized with cutouts, graphics, and fasteners. So as I mentioned before, notes are a wonderful feature for communicating your intentions to our engineering and design services team. To add a note in the Face Editor to a specific object, have Move Item selected in the Tools section, and then click on the object to which you want to add a note. With the object selected, you can then add a note in the My Notes section on the bottom right corner of your screen. When you're done typing your note, you don't need to press Enter or Save. Protocase Designer will automatically save the note for you. You just need to move to another part of the Face Editor. To see the note, you need to have your object selected. You can also add more notes to an object that already has a note. Make sure your vertical scroll is scrolled all the way to the bottom. Here you can see arrows that let you scroll in between notes for a particular object. To add a new note to an object that already has one, click the New button to add a new note separate from the previous one. You can scroll through each note using the arrow buttons. To delete a note, select the red X button. You can add a general note to your design in either the Face Editor or the 3D Viewer. In the Face Editor, you can add a general note if you have no object selected. Add a note in the My Notes section, then click in the Notes section to add another note. I'm going to click Save to get back to the 3D Viewer. To add a general note to your design here, click the Part Tree button. On the left-hand side, you'll see the tree list view. Click the part of your design that makes the most sense to add the note. Click New Note and type your note. Then click Save Changes once your note is complete. You can always click Delete Note if you decide you don't need that note. You can also make edits. Just make sure to click Save Changes when you're done your edits. To add a new note, click, you guessed it, New Note. Similar to the arrow scrolls in the Face Editor, you can use the arrow buttons to horizontally scroll through the notes you've created. So let's review a few key examples where notes can be used effectively. You can add a question as a note, such as, is it possible to add a hinge here? Or, will adding rubber feet increase the price of my design? You can also use notes to request additions to your design that aren't available in Protocase Designer, such as a self-clinching fastener that we don't stock, rubber feet, a hinge, or more. In these cases, it's best to draw the area for the feature that you're requesting. This way our engineering team knows where you want that addition actually placed. You can use the construct mode for this feature and then add a note to that construct asking our engineering and design services team to make the addition that you need. You can use a note to request a feature that's not possible in Protocase Designer, such as an inside bend. Sometimes customers will create a note to indicate what connector corresponds to a particular custom cutout they've created. You can do this if you'd like, but it's more efficient to name the cutout itself with a connector name and add it to the cutout library. So in this example, I'm creating a custom grouping of cutouts using the Array tool, then saving it as a cutout in my personal library. I don't need to add a note to this cutout because it's already labeled in my cutout library. Finally, if you encounter an issue while using Protocase Designer, you can use the note system to indicate the issue you ran into. However, I'd also recommend emailing info@protocasedesigner.com with the full details of your issue. Make sure to include your Protocase Designer assembly file if possible. One thing I want to stress, every note in your design needs to be cleared by our engineering team before your design can be processed and actually manufactured. For this reason, we don't recommend labeling every single object in your design, especially for the obvious objects. If you add a cutout for a DB50 connector from Protocase Designer's cutout library, there's no need to create a note to indicate it's for a DB50. The most important thing to keep in mind is that notes in Protocase Designer are really helpful for communicating your design intentions that aren't obvious to our engineering and design services team. With that, this concludes our tutorial on adding notes in Protocase Designer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at info@protocasedesigner.com. Thanks for watching and happy designing.